a boot, and then we can't do it. So that's always still good, Anyhow, hey out there in spray wash land. Sorry, we're running about a minute or so late, and Ray will be coming in here in a little bit. But for those of you that know, we got Carlos Gonzales, Mr. Los. And for those of you that don't know, we got Carlos Gonzales, Mr. Los. See, and it's still funny because for my screen, like when I'm pointing that way, I'm actually pointing away from you. But I've learned that because the camera is reversed, I point the opposite direction, and exactly, there you go. So that way, that's he's over there. Yeah.
I passed the test. The first test.
Yeah, you got to pass the test. Yeah,
right.
That's one of them things. But anyhow, Carlos Gonzales is a longtime veteran of the industry. You've been out there, 20-something years, you think you said? 26, 28?
23, actually.
23?
But who's counting?
Anything over 20, who's counting? Who cares?
Right, exactly.
You're old as dust and need to go away. That's what some of the young guys say, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's funny. Before you go into this, Doug, first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me aboard to the live here tonight, both you and Raymond. And how long has the Spray Wash Academy been in existence?
I want to say, you put me on the spot. 2017, I think the Spray Wash Academy came out. Whenever the U imploded, that's when Spray Wash came out. So if we go back to whenever the U imploded, that would be an easy calculation for that, because the Spray Wash Academy was born out of the implosion of the U. I mean, when you take the vice president, we won't hash all of it out, but when you take the vice president who's slated to be president and those who are, slated to be board members, and you just all of a sudden kick them all out. I mean, everybody had to go somewhere, and that's where Spray Wash came from.
Well, it's funny because, and this is no fault of you and Raymond or the Academy at all, but this is actually the first time. I know that you had offered invitations in the past over the years to try to get me on, and for whatever reasons, just my schedule didn't jive. And then when I sent you messages, hey, I'm available next week, and it's like, oh, we already got a top. So it's been 5 years, and I feel honored, first of all, to actually share a screen with you. And I know you said that Raymond will be chiming in.
And he's popping in.
And just like that. So
just like that, there he is. Los, though,
I got to get my good backdrop in here. Hey, Los, you notice any of that stuff back there?
Hey, man, look at that. That is awesome. I'm actually digging that suit, that sport jacket you have on.
Yeah.
Ironically, I was at a funeral today, and
oh my God.
my it was my Tanya's first husband's mother passed away, so the father of Brooke and Brittany, and we're close with the family, and it was expected. It wasn't a shocker. So she lived a long, full life and is now back with her husband. So
I'm sorry to hear that, and thoughts and prayers to Tanya and her family. No, good deal. But I was just going to say, I try to attend these live sessions that you guys have as much as I can. And I don't ever recall seeing you with a sports jacket on. So it's
special occasion, special guest.
Tanya said, like, why don't you take your jacket off? I was like, it's so rare that I ever get to put anything other than a power wash store shirt on. And before that, a spray wash shirt. And it kind of feels good.
Yeah, I feel underdressed now, guys. Yeah. I'll get my sports jacket on.
No. You got the hat that beats everything, so you're good to go, right?
And it's great. I remember I started pressure washing when I had hair, so
I got up before.
Yeah. Well, mine's actually turned. I still have a good hair here, but it's turned considerably gray on the sides and stuff, and this is my normal attire pretty much throughout the day.
Mine too. Tanya hates my proportioner hat because I wear it every single day.
Wear it all the time, and it's it's a good camouflage for when I take it off and I'm done for the day and stuff and shower and I look in the mirror and Dougie and I were just talking about our ages and how old. Well, I won't say how old we're getting, but the gray hair kind of reminds me. It's like we're not getting any younger, and the industry itself is still moving forward, and there's new challenges, and there's always an interesting story pretty much daily on Facebook that either you could stop in and absorb all the dynamics that's going on in the industry or focus on your business at hand. So
now I want to make this and at least y'all still have hair, but I want to make this a real serious conversation here, and not just about a bunch of product placement that we're talking about all night long here for
so just so you guys know, we won't do any cheesy promotions at all.
But
we don't believe in the cheesy.
We don't believe in product stuffing like that, do we?
Serious business here. That's it.
But I do want to ask you this before we get into the meat of the Cabo conversation. This has been one of the hottest products in the world, Carlos. It seems just can't keep it on the shelves. And in all fairness, I mean, I believe in being completely honest. This really came out during my transition out of the business and never really had a chance to use it. But tell me about Glide. Tell me all about this.
Well, it's actually Glide, believe it or not, was hatched about 7 years ago.
Wow.
And Glide has actually been in production from a blending standpoint, from a formulation standpoint, like I said, about 7 years ago. And I originally introduced Glide to there's the traditional window cleaning companies of the world, specifically in the United States. And it was more directed for the squeegee type contractor.
Right.
And we parked Glide after a lot of beta testing, a lot of back and forth with samples to some of the individuals in the industry at that time that was, putting squeegees to glass. They were running accounts. We had discussions with them behind the scenes as to what was the perfect soap for them. And obviously we had about 20, 30, 40, 50 different answers to that question. And so what we did is we came up with a formula and like I said, parked it in front of the traditional window cleaners. And during that interaction with them, I was trying to absorb as much information from them because I'm a pressure washing guy. Window cleaning was not something that I brought any expertise to the table. It was more of, I want to create a soap that that you can use and that would work. So in hindsight, what happened was the original launch of EBC Glide started off really, really well. We just had a lot of I guess, interest in it. We had the window cleaners from coast to coast provide feedback to us, but it just didn't have that horsepower. It didn't have that extra thing to it. Right. It was missing something. And being that I was not a window cleaner by trade, I literally just sat on it. EBC started really scaling up. We, started moving into the international markets. At that time, I was still, co-owner. I was owning, New Look Power Wash. I was out on contracts every single night. And then during the day, I was managing EBC. So the time factor or the lack thereof just did not afford me the opportunity to harness those window cleaners back in and say, what do I need to do to make it better? So, but I always knew that Glide, based on the formula itself, there was something in. I knew that there was a market for it, but I just couldn't put my finger on it, nor did I have the time back then to push it.
Mhm.
So circled back around till about, oh gosh, I would say what we're in 2022. I'd say kind of in the middle of 2021, beginning part, first quarter, something like that. I really had another kind of heart to heart discussion with myself in the mirror. And I knew that EBC Glide could potentially be what I call a crossover soap, not only for the window cleaners, but also use it as a building wash additive or a window cleaning additive with the pressure washing industry. And one of the things that, kind of caught my interest in that is over the years, we've always talked about spotting. We've always talked about, what SH does when you leave it dry on the windows or after they're done rinsing. There's always that potential of water spotting, this and that. So I kind of repackaged the marketing side of Glide. We didn't really change the formula at all from 6-7 years ago, but I approached a different audience, and that was more so to use Glide as a window cleaning additive in your building wash. We lost Ray there.
Yep.
Or your house wash mix. And obviously, I think, as we kind of moved into the first quarter of this year, we started seeing more and more contractors giving us a look, giving Glide a look, and giving it a shot as relates to a window cleaning additive. And obviously, the results and the feedback that we have received thus far has been very encouraging. So that's kind of the story behind that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I knew that it had been out for quite some time. I didn't realize that it had been out about 7 years. I thought it was about 3 or 4 years, somewhere in that neighborhood. But I knew that it had been out for a good long time. So, and then of course EBC. So how long has EBC been out? Because EBC hasn't been out much longer than that as well, has it?
Well, EBC Launch. We launched EBC. We're actually celebrating our 10th year anniversary this year for EBC.
Gotcha.
And that was the maiden voyage. We started off with, that one independent product. I don't know if you can remember back then, but I know that, again, back to the beta testing part, contractors that have been around, during that time, we were just handing out samples left and right to anybody and everybody in the industry that wanted to take a look at this product. And I remember, I forget the dollar value of what those quart bottles of EBC that we sent out, but it was a lot of product that we sent out to certainly my colleagues, the colleagues in the industry, willing to give it a shot. And that was 10 years ago. And that really what started, that the whole train rolling with EBC. And obviously helped push me through the door to sell, my pressure washing business back in 2019. New Look Power Wash. It's a couple of years ago, actually about 3 years ago, is when I sold New Look. And the reason being,
you sold after I did for some reason.
Actually, it was October of 2019 is when I sold New Look. I think that was the last. I think that's when we signed the papers and it was official and whatnot. And the reason behind that was not so much that I needed to sell the New Look. It was just that
it was time.
The time and the scale up that EBC had going for it at the time, and where we were at with New Look. I just couldn't fit everything in one day. It was just days were running into nights and nights were running into days. And, we had a full-time staff at the office. So.
Yes. And Ray texted me. He said that for some reason he lost all internet at his shop. So I'm assuming he'll pop back in here after a while, but I don't know if he's going to wait on his internet or if he'll just come in on his phone. But anyhow.
He's probably taking off his sports jacket.
Yeah, probably. You know, the screen will just pop on and he'll be
or a Tallahassee shirt or something like that. So,
yeah.
but
So
mhm.
I'm curious, Los, what made you decide to start the whole cleaning industry summit?
Honestly,
and Cabo.
it's Cabo San Lucas.
Yeah.
Everybody looks for an excuse to go to someplace exotic, and Cabo San Lucas, we actually have a distribution facility in Cabo. So prior to the summit, when we first started the summits, you know, I was always down there goofing off and scuba diving and fishing and this and that. And it was right around the time when we started with the gas station training classes here in the United States. I had Paul Cassander and also Steve Hill, part of my team at that time, as far as instructors. And I remember talking with Paul one night on the phone saying, what if we did a gas station training class and out of the country in Cabo San Lucas? Do you think that would fly? And he said, yeah, you know, why not? Let's try it. And so our first actual cleaning summit at that time wasn't even called the cleaning summit. It was the gas station training class. We kind of loaded up a deal with the Real Palace Resort right downtown Cabo San Lucas, and was able to secure a gas station facility right downtown with my EBC representative down there, Arturo, and put things together, and it created a really nice getaway, if you will. It was 5 days. We did 1 day of training, classroom, and then that night, I think it was a day or a day and a half, and then that night we were out actually on a gas station downtown Cabo in a foreign country. We had a pressure washing rig, a gentleman from Baja, drive up from there. It took him like 8 to 12 hours to get there. And I think Ray was actually at that one. We had representatives from Australia, from Switzerland, all over the world, and certainly our colleagues here in the United States, Canada, attended. And it just really, the 2.5 days that we actually trained was great. But I think the best part of the trip was the 3.5 days that we spent socializing, networking, and getting to know people that sometimes we don't have that opportunity at a traditional convention. Traditional conventions, you know, you're in there for 2-3 days, and then, you know, you shake hands with someone or you have coffee with them, and you're gone.
Yeah, and with the summit, you have no choice. You're there.
Well,
until your flight leaves.
It's there. Yeah, you're there. You have 5 days, 2 days of like today's business or cleaning industry summit for 2022. In years past, it's really 2 days of very intense business building type workshops. And when I mean business building type workshops, it's not, you know, me training on how to use a pump up sprayer to apply EBC to a dumpster pad, or Ray teaching people how to turn the settings on a proportioner to go from a house wash to a building wash.
This is something where you don't even have to be in the cleaning industry to benefit from it. You could be
absolutely.
Yeah. It is literally a business thing.
Yes. So it's more of a journey about what's going on inside of you as a business person. And, you know, we oftentimes as business owners, we look at the stars, or we look at those goals that we want to achieve, and we see colleagues around us in these Facebook groups that are considered to be successful and that are successful. You know, they're doing $1 million, 5 million, 10 million, whatever that number is, that magical number. And I remember when I first joined the industry back, 23 years ago, obviously my goal was to, I'm going to become rich. I'm going I'm going to make a lot of money and I'm going to be able to retire. And I think deep down, as entrepreneurs, as business owners, that's exactly what our goal is. We want to reach a certain level financially to be able to maybe hit the pause button in our life sometimes and enjoy the fruits of our labor.
Right.
And unfortunately, when you're right in the middle of all this cycle of business life and being an entrepreneur and being a husband and being a father and being a resource on Facebook, Dougie, you and I spoke about this earlier, is that, you realize that I don't have the time, or I can't find the time to find me,
Mm-hmm.
or my wife, or my girlfriend or fiance or pet dog, or wherever that relationship, lies. I'm not enjoying things now.
Can I share something real quick?
Yeah,
Carlos?
sure, Raymond.
Hold on. Let me work on this. I'm working on what do you mean? Okay. Share never mind. I'm gonna have to go into my I got to go into my thing. I'm sorry. Just keep talking. I had a video pulled up actually over here of oh, hold it. Maybe this is allowing me to do this. Nope, it's not going to do it. I actually had a video of you and Paul and us on the office boat with him landing that marlin, talking about enjoying yourself. Mm-hmm. That big, beautiful white marlin, and then the pictures of Nick pulled up with all the tuna we caught the first year there. And something I would like to add too. So you may or may not know who the person I'm talking about. He's become a very, very close friend of mine. He actually won a trip to Cabo, and he has gone from $45,000 to over $300,000 now in the last year since the Cabo trip that he went to, and he really credits a lot of who he met and realizing there was a different and better way of doing things. So it absolutely was some, and maybe not even learning something there, but starting to surround himself with those people that did believe in what you could do and believed in there was a better way and that there were no boundaries or limits that you wanted to go after. So he's had a nearly 8-time raise in income. Now he runs a multiple truck company. Just finished a $50,000 job that I went and did some equipment consulting on him with. So, just so proud that he's my friend. And again, he credits who he met in Cabo with a lot of motivation for his success.
And Michael, let me answer something for Michael real quick. He's asking, is the summit for everyone or bigger companies, movers and shakers? I'd love to get away to Cabo. I think Ray just answered that question. Okay, maybe not in that direct sense, but somebody that went from $45,000 a year, okay, and now they're $350, whatever the case may be. So size of the company doesn't matter. It's your determination and your will and your drive that gets you to Cabo.
Absolutely. And just to kind of piggyback on what you said, Doug, and obviously what Ray just mentioned is that this is open to anybody. It doesn't matter what's in your account or what you're making or what you did last year. I think one of the taglines that I used over on the Cleaning Industry Summit Facebook group that we have, which is used just for informational purposes, is that, the one thing that we want everybody to do that attends this event is to leave your checkbook, your mentality of what's in your account at the door. Mm-hmm. This get together is going to be a small, intimate group compared to the droves and hundreds of attendees that you normally get at other conventions. As far as our speakers are concerned, the idea behind the 2 days of business building sessions, and I kind of use the analogy of, going to a huge, not a huge, the huge, but a big convention, where you have an individual that has a proven track record as far as their business in the cleaning industry and whatnot, and their scale up has certainly been documented. What we're trying to do is get you in front of that person, not just for them to stand in front of a microphone and deliver some fancy words and then move on to the next speaker. We're actually going to be having working sessions where these individuals will be working with everybody in groups in the 2 different conference rooms that we have. So again, when we go to some of these, conventions, we hear someone speak about, oh, I'm doing, 20 million, this and that. And then when they're done, they're off to the airport and gone. And that's your interaction with them. What we've tried to demonstrate or trying to create with the Cleaning Industry Summit is that obviously they're going to speak, but they're going to be handing you a piece of paper and a pencil and a workbook. And now we're going to dig into your business. We're going to spend the next hour and a half, 2 hours in this conference room and focus in on your business model. What are you doing? Talking about, you want to scale up to 2 million, 3 million, but really the rubber meets the road. What are you actually doing to make that happen?
And I think the saying is something like, you are the sum of the 5 people that you hang around with the most, kind of a thing. And so going to something like this. So first of all, it's in my book, it's very inexpensive. And we'll talk prices here in a minute, but the people that you're going and hanging out with there, I mean, they are definitely spending some money to go over there and do that. And I mean, they're there to learn. And I think I have not been, I want to make that clear, but I think that would be more of a focused group. And then if it's a smaller group, like you're saying to begin with, then you have more time to individualize with people and get to know what your problem is and help you with your particular business.
Well, the beauty of it, and Raymond hit it on the head, it's obviously the work that, the business building sessions is the focus, but also too, and I can certainly attest to this. I know that when, I was on the boat with Raymond and Nick and Steve Hill and a few other people, we spent the entire day, chasing tuna and chasing marlin. And I think we were the last boat to come into port. It was actually, the sun was setting at that time, or was getting fairly close to dark time. And the entire day was just, you really can't put any words to it. It was just the networking that really brought out some good discussions about, our each individual businesses. There was a lot of respect, a lot of different ways of looking at scenarios in our business life, our scale up, where we want to be at year 3, year 4, year 5. And it's not just the fishing part, it's the scuba diving that we have, but it's also that one-on-one interaction that, you can have at the resort, for the, 3 days, 4 days that, you're spending out there on the pool or at the coffee shop or at dinner. It's just really a great time to talk directly with individuals that have
their feet kicked up, their shoes kicked off.
They've been there, it's like Ray, and again, it's not about, putting people on a pedestal and stuff, but what Ray has done with, his pressure washing business and the whole sale behind that, and his scale up in his, short time in the industry when you compare it to people that have been around for 30 plus years. And, his scale up to that. And then obviously, bringing on the Power Wash Store Tallahassee facility, that's not an easy feat. That's something that, sometimes it takes someone a lifetime to do. And obviously, some of our speakers, Chuck Thoke, Brandon Vaughn, Jason Evers, I may say a few words here and there as well. And, Heath, which is a newcomer in the industry. So what he has done with his business, I had the pleasure of meeting Heath a couple of weeks ago down in Houston, Texas, when I was down there for my gas station training class. And he actually brought his entire company with him. And I was just really impressed with the gentleman's demeanor, his view of the industry, even though he's been part of the industry a very short time. I was very encouraged with, his professionalism, his attitude, and his outlook on if he can do it, by golly, you could do it. And that's another thing I think that would address about the question that was popped up earlier, Dougie, is whether or not this is for the bigger companies. Heath is a small company, and he's going to share some of the horror stories that he experienced when he first started in this industry. So you're going to get a real good cross section of people there, not only from a speaker standpoint, but if we're able to get you down there, or Ray, or anybody else that obviously wants to come and register, it certainly could be a great group of people.
So 2 questions. Somebody had asked earlier, and we didn't answer the question. Ray, maybe you can answer this. But somebody had asked, how much is EBC itself? Just let's say a gallon or 5 gallons of EBC.
Okay.
That's a great question. Hold on. I should probably know this off the top of my head, but
I have no clue what I saw my brother.
I'm so bad with prices. I'm actually pulling it up in my system. And EBC is one of these that we don't really play. You're not going to find a better price typically on EBC at a different store or the other. That's one that.
I like Gene's question while you're looking that up, though. Gene's asking, can you charter a boat out of California to Cabo for a reasonable cost? I might be interested in making it a 2-part trip, fish in and fly out.
Well, there's one individual in California that I know of that if it's possible, he would probably be the only individual in San Diego that could make it happen. There he is, Jeremy Jennings.
There you go.
Jeremy is, I think he lives in Cabo as well. I think he has a second house down there that he doesn't tell anybody about. But I think Jeremy and certainly myself, we've had our fair share of trips down there. But Jeremy is constantly on a boat. He has a great company out of Oceanside where he has his crews and stuff, doing what they do. And him and Igor, I think Igor, don't you, Dougie? He used to be in Raymond.
Igor's Eric. Yep.
Yeah, years ago back in the old organization days. But those two get together a lot and do a lot of fishing in and around the Baja Peninsula and stuff.
And Leslie's right. It's about $135 for a 5er on there. And Carlos, I did a video not too terribly long ago. I said, "Are you paying to ship water?" And you and Andrew Snyder were some of the first guys in the business to go out there with the concentrated formulas, and having the EBC 55-gallon kit that I ship 10 gallons of product that makes 55 gallons on there, and what an amazing savings that is, because I just shipped 2 drums of water dragon grip to South Florida, and shipping on two drums was nearly $500 on there, which shipping on 55 of EBC to North Carolina was only $80. I mean, it's really an amazing kind of difference right there whenever you start making
obviously with everything that's been going on this past year and even into 2021 with the shipping rates and the market there, the different lanes that normally would be reasonable as far as price is concerned. Ray, you know this as well as I do, is that we've just seen some very, very astronomical price increases not only from a FedEx standpoint where you have those individual shipments, but more importantly, when we're doing pallet pickups, at our facility here in the Fairfield, I could have the pick of a litter of probably about 12 different trucking companies that we contract with on a regular basis. And everybody's telling me that, the prices are still going to go up in this year. We haven't seen the last of that. And I think you guys had Paul on here maybe about a month or so ago where he touched up not only on just price increases, but the shortages that are playing out in front of us. And I don't know if that's still the case, Ray, or you.
Oh, equipment wise, absolutely. We used to, I was laughing with someone the other day and of course we did equipment maintenance and stuff, but not nearly as intense as we do now. But I knew that if I had an 8-gallon machine go out or a pump go out or something go out, I literally could get on the phone with Russ Johnson, with Paul, with any of the vendors that I worked with and said, hey, I need a 5.5 gallon a minute pump down to Tallahassee by the end of the week. Okay, Ray, no problem at all. Now, if I was to call up, somebody and say, hey, I need an 8 gallon a minute machine by the end of the week, it would be, yeah, good luck. Maybe not. I don't know. I hope you like Predator engines.
And if that's what you have to do to make it happen, that's what you got to do. But that's something that you got to think about when you're looking at all this.
And it's just like the fuel prices. And I think I saw Eric Smith go berserk. I think it was last week. He posted up as what he's paying for diesel. And I think if you go back maybe about I don't know when maybe about 2 or 3 months ago when things just overnight really went up. And today it's still even the case. I know diesel out here in California is well over $6, and it's been like that. And it goes right back to what Dougie just said: is if you're going to be in this business and make a run of it for a career and really put some serious time and energy behind it, these influxes, these ups and downs, more downs than ups as far as problems, it's just going to continue to happen. It may, the shortages are now, but then again, we got summer coming up. We don't use the word drought and water restrictions, but both of you are familiar over the years that, that hurt contractors years ago,
right?
Down in the South and obviously out here in California when I was washing. So there's always going to be some pitfall about our industry that we're not going to be happy about. And either, we can get on Facebook all day long and, complain about it. And, and I get it. I understand we want to vent, or we can, make the necessary inroads and changes tweak our business model a little bit and reanalyze our numbers and pass that on to our, to our customer. That's, that's going to sustain you through these problem times that we're going through.
Well, that's why we're, I'm sure sometimes we sound like a broken record talking about pricing and raise your prices and get your prices up there and, do this and do that. Ray must have lost the internet again. I'm sure that half the time we sound like a broken record going over that over and over and over again. And you also just said something else, Lois. You said something about, knowing what your numbers are. It's something else we talk about continuously, right? These are the reasons you can't survive a massive increase in fuel prices if you're not pricing things out correctly to begin with, if you're not doing, and then not only that, but sometimes people say, well, gee whiz, I can't afford these gas prices. And you know what? That's a cost that every consumer understands is happening. And so they can understand a price increase. And now would be that time to do that price increase because it's right there in front of you. There's no reason for you to work for less.
It's tough for the contractor. And I replied to a comment last week on Facebook about shipping cost, and shipping cost is just really it's in a bad spot right now for our industry when it comes to UPS and FedEx. When you start getting into bulk orders, or you're, obviously Raven's, moving skids, the soft wash proportioners and this and that, that kind of that kind of lane, it goes into the trucking arena. But for us contractors, and I speak as a contractor because I was, washing for 23 years. One of the biggest frustrations that I had before I, went into the soap business was, why in the hell does it cost so much for a gallon of something to get from point A to point B? And I'm here to tell the people that are listening that it's not the distributors. I've been on both sides of the aisle now, and we get decent FedEx rates, for our Sherwin-Williams account. We move a lot of, product out to Sherwin-Williams on a daily basis. So we have a FedEx ground account with them, and prices are going up. So when these distributors that you're buying from tell you that, it's the cost of shipping, they're not lying to you. It's getting a little
cost of shipping.
It is, and that kills orders. That'll kill a deal. If you have a gallon of, Acme soap that, runs $28.99 and your shipping cost is $22, how do you justify that? How do you work those numbers?
No, I mean, hazmat or hazmat or heavy boxes. I mean, makes it go, just even crazier. So, and this is also where people have to learn that, once you get to a certain level at your business as well, this is where, you really make your money around the margins, and you better have your margins figured out so you can make this money. Because if you're in here grossing $1 million a year and you figure out, or let's say you're keeping $250,000 on that $1 million. Now, if you can figure out how to increase profits by 10%, that's an extra, $25,000 on there. And you really got to work on these tiny little things, the tiny little savings, as you're bigger, buying in bulk, saving on the shipping. I mean, all these little things that the larger companies that have been there and done that have already done, and can really, really, save.
Well, I'm even going to say that's one of the benefits of the Power Wash store, because now that it's franchised out, there's different locations kind of all across the country.
Yep.
And that helps as well, because now shipping can be reduced going from, Florida to Florida versus going from, Tennessee or Milwaukee to Florida, kind of a thing.
So I want to walk y'all through some things. I've been sitting here kind of going through memory lane for a second. Gene O'Neill asked, so in everybody's room at the Ryu, you actually have a bar in your room as you walk in that's got 4 different kinds of liquors in it. So, I mean, talk about all-inclusive drinking. The liquor is right there. So, here's one of the classrooms, Carlos, where we're at nice informal training. This was the Palace. Is it the Palace or the Santa Fe this year?
That's actually that's the Palace, and that's where we're at. And
okay.
This is that picture right there, Ray, that you just posted up is right outside
the classroom.
Right outside the conference rooms. Yep.
I had a nice talk with, in fact, here's me coming out of the classroom, and that's the bar at the Santa Fe. Never mind, that's the pool bar at the Santa Fe. It's here again, another one right outside the classroom there.
Yeah.
Sunrise there over the Sea of Cortez, or a rainbow over the Sea of Cortez.
Yeah.
Here's the Infinity Edge pool there that's just looking out over the Newlywed Beach and Divorce Beach there. Just absolutely amazing. Two of our closest friends in the world, Grace and TJ. We just got back from Belize with them, and Tanya hanging out there in the middle. We're at the Cabo Wabo Cantina, Sammy Hagar's bar.
There's actually a street named after TJ. Apparently he had the first year that he was there, he had a drawing or a painting done from of him.
Oh no! Don't worry. We're getting into those. I had bet Bo that a certain org was going to have some big problems, and he's now giving to the ADM to pay me off. That was horrible. Let's see. Talk about Steve Hill. There's Steve-O at the office.
Yeah.
There's our man Carlos at the office. There's all of us here at the office. There's one of our visitors we had that day. That'll tug on the heartstrings of the girls out there. Big Nick with a nice, people don't realize how huge Nick is, but that's probably about a 30-pound tuna.
Nick's a big guy.
Nick is a big fella. Carlos with a tuna. I mean, we just kept on fishing and catching, and it was absolutely amazing. It was, there's me with one of my tuna. I think actually we're seeing the suns. And the reason I say when we're at the office is literally the boat's name was The Office. So
Wow.
there was a triple hookup right there. And the only reason I think that wasn't a quadruple hookup is because we didn't have 4 lines in the water. Just, sunset over the Sea of Cortez is just absolutely amazing.
So what did you guys do with all that tuna? That's the question from Gene.
Well, what's great is like whenever we caught the marlin, here's Tammy Rigby peeing off the side of a boat. The seals or sea lions just laid up there on the thing. Here's a spa that Grace found us where we went and got massages, and a Mexican woman who looked a lot like Pancho Villa did mine. Like I said, I just can't speak highly enough about how wonderful it was. And our dinners out there on the evening, how nice that was. Here's one that'll just get your heart pounding.
Hello? I think we lost. I don't know if you lost me or if I lost Ray.
No, you're still there. Ray is.
No, I'm here. I'm walking down memory lane looking at these pictures there. Just absolutely amazing with there's Paul's marlin that he got.
Did he mount that sucker or what?
You know what? We ate that sucker. They literally cooked it for us right there. We all went into a restaurant and had marlin until we could not stand eating marlin anymore. Wow. There's Tim proportioning out some bait fish for this guy right here.
He knew what he was doing. That little guy knew he would get him some.
Oh no, that's El Jefe. He's the big guy. He knows exactly what he's doing when the boats come in, all that good stuff. This is TJ getting his portrait drawn in the town square.
So what's the deal about a street?
There's my beautiful wife over the pool at night. And just, all the accoutrements, the espresso bar, really, just amazing time, Carlos. Thank you for the leeway to go down memory road there. That was really kind of fun.
So let me do that. What is the Carlos is still cracking up in the water. So Carlos, this is all inclusive, correct? Did you hear me, Carlos?
I'm sorry.
I said it's an all-inclusive trip, correct?
I have a bad connection here, or something happened here when Ray put up his.
Here, let me
see if he can get out of it. So now that he's out for a sec, he'll come back in. But can you hear me better? No. I think maybe I don't know if everybody else can hear us just fine.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear. I'm here. I'm assuming.
So Carlos, it's got to be on your end.
Well, let me answer that question that's up on the thing there from Wild Wild West Services. Explain the business write-off aspect of the trip. Well, this is a convention, not a convention. It's a training for your business. We are bringing in industry-related speakers and trainers to not only focus in on the 2 days of face-to-face dynamics, face-to-face working with you and speaking on business building topics, but beyond that, as we explained earlier, the interaction that you're going to be having with colleagues in the industry throughout the time there, through the 5 days that you're going to be there, whether it be on the beach, whether it be on the back of a fishing boat, whether it be, I won't say scuba diving, but, that type of thing. It certainly is. Excuse me, I got to open up something for my wife. My wife actually wanted me to open up a can of something that she's making for dinner, and I obviously couldn't open it. So sorry about that. So that's part of, that's the write-off that, obviously you want to keep receipts and, make sure that, you refer anybody that had questions about it, whether or not it's legitimate, certainly refer them to the Cleaning Industry Summit website. Is this all inclusive, and what is the cost? Well, all inclusive. The price for the summit includes your 5 days in a junior suite. It includes all your meals, the buffets. They have 5 specialty restaurants on site at the Rio Palace, ranging from steakhouses to Indian food to sushi. All your beverages, whether it be alcohol, non-alcohol, are included in the price. That includes room service. If you, 11, 12 o'clock at night, you don't feel like going down to, getting any food, you call up room service and order from the menu and whatever you want. That's part of the package. You also have access to the 2 other Rio resorts that are within walking distance of the palace. The brand new Rio Baja, which just opened up a couple of years ago. It's more of a higher end than the Rio Palace, and then obviously the Rio Santa Fe. So you have access to all 3 of those resorts. You have a private beach. The downtown Cabo San Lucas is maybe a 5-minute taxi ride from the resort. Everything is centrally located, very, very safe. Down at the marina, there's just scores and scores of restaurants, everything from A to Z. You have a shopping mall there, both high end, middle end. The list goes on and on and on. And I know that folks that have been following us over on Cleaning Industry Summit, and certainly through some of the posts that I've posted up, I talk about the elegance and the fun side of this. We use the term live a little, and that is really part of the theme of the 2020. It's time that, if it fits your budget, instead of being on that grind 24/7, 7 days a week, forever and ever and ever, this is a great opportunity for you to kind of just let your hair down a little bit, enjoy the fruits of your labor among colleagues, among friends, and especially among family. We already have many, many people, many families that have already signed up, reserved their rooms, registered. We have, there's a water slide there, not only for the kids, but also for the adults that have that youth still in them. They actually have a water theme park right next to the Rio Palace. That is certainly a big hit. But the idea here is that you're going to learn, you're going to network, you're going to grow, you're going to be among colleagues, but more importantly, it's a chance for you to live a little. and enjoy your life, and spend 5 days in a 5-star resort where you're a guest, and we're going to treat you like family down there. Yes, you still need to pay for the things like the diving and the fishing trips. That is on the website. Everything about even the COVID stipulations, which there isn't any, by the way, but there is a COVID protocol that the Rio Palace has, where they sanitize the rooms, they sanitize the eating facilities that they're at, that they have there. Masks are not required. As far as you walking around, there's the buffets and stuff like that are in full effect right now. But everything about the Cleaning Industry Summit, as far as costs, the dates, all the activities, is located on the cleaningindustrysummit.com website.
So can you hear me yet, Carlos?
Yep.
Okay, so what is the cost of the summit?
I knew you were going to ask me that, and I'm afraid to switch screens here.
Don't switch screens. No, that's all right. That's good.
There's so many different. Well, we have different pricing. I guess points as relates to if you're a single person, your cost is X amount of dollars. If you are getting if you're coming down with your wife, then the cost is on a certain amount. And then if you're bringing family, kids, different things like that, the cost is different. And I didn't write that down before we went live. I apologize, but it is on the cleaningindustrysummit.com website, all the different prices.
Which I'm going to put up here in just a second anyhow.
Yes, it is, Rusty. Still open.
Let's see.
And there's a picture of TJ behind the bar at Squid Row. I'm telling you, they named a street after this guy. When he left Cabo the first year, I went back because, like I said, we have a facility down there, and I happened to come across some people that recognized me, and they knew that TJ was part of my group, and they asked me, "Where's the crazy one at?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "The short one with the beard looked like Santa Claus with the Speedos on." And he said he's famous down there now. So we always want to have a great time. It's a good opportunity to let your hair down and enjoy. But we always, err to the side of caution to make sure that, when you leave with a group, you come back with a group. We certainly don't want the police to be looking for you or calling us for bail money or anything like that.
I just spent 6 days with that Speedo. So
you were down there, Raymond. You were down there. So how safe is it?
Oh, I feel extremely safe in Cabo. I feel very safe. I mean, Doug, can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
So Carlos can hear Doug.
Just continue on.
I felt very, very safe. And, there's a lot of panhandlers. There's a lot of guys that'll be not panhandlers trying to sell you cigars and cocaine, but you don't feel like they're going to rob you at all or bad things are going to happen to you. We went to, we literally walked to where we got the massage from, which was supposed to be, a 5-minute walk. And it was through not a great area of town. And at the same time, we never felt unsafe whatsoever because, tourists are their bread and butter. They're not going to let anything really happen to the tourists there. That's going to rain down hell upon any criminal that was trying to physically harm, an American tourist.
Yeah, because it would completely ruin the industry down there if crime was getting too out of hand. Yep. I know some of those types of areas where if you get in the outskirts, it's bad. Where if you stay where you're supposed to, I guess is the best way to say it. Then everything is fine, as far as that's concerned.
Both you and Ray, and I don't know if you can hear me, but both you and Ray are coming over you're like 1,000 miles away from me.
Really? Strange.
Yeah. Breaking up.
It's
not my hearing issue. I can hear perfectly good with this machine that I have in my ear, but you're breaking up like that.
I think it's your connection, Carlos, but we're into it for our hour anyhow. And if you can't hear us, well, kind of pointless to continue, so to speak. But again, so the 2022 Cleaning Industry Summit, which is happening in Cabo San Lucas, September 15th through the 20th. And again, don't forget, go to cleaningindustrysummit.com, cleaningindustrysummit.com, and you can register there. And all the pricing is there. Everything is all inclusive. Go ahead, Los.
One other thing about the registration is every year we give away a free trip to the Cleaning Industry Summit. That has been our hallmark, kind of our incentive, our just way of giving back to individuals. And this year is no different. We are actually going to be giving away a free trip to one individual who registers to attend. The first 30 people that registers for the Cleaning Industry Summit, we will draw one individual name out of that 30. We are going to pay for their airfare, round trip ticket. We're going to put them up in the Rio Palace for 5 days, completely free. You'll be able to attend the summit completely free. Everything about the summit, except for the fishing and scuba diving or whatever, extracurricular activities that you want to do. But everything about the summit, we will take care of that for you. And you have a 1 in 30 chance of winning or getting that.
What's the average number, if you can hear me, what's the average number of people that have been going every time?
We've actually had as many as close to 100 one year. But as I mentioned early on in the broadcast, this is a very small and intimate group. I'm going to be honest with you. I've only reserved a certain number of rooms. I played a little cautious this year with the room block that we have. And once that room block is filled up, I will, certainly approach the Rio Palace to see if they can allocate any more rooms. Here's another thing too about September, mid-September. That is a very busy time for them. Mm-hmm. The weather's great. People are, families are, this is their last vacation before, the kids go to school, holidays kick in, this and that. But we average between, 50 to 100. As far as our classrooms are concerned, I would even put it even conservatively at 40. So that's kind of the goal here. We're not shooting for, mass droves of hundreds and hundreds of people. If I get 50 people to sign up, then by golly, that's who we're going to, that's who's going to show up, and we're going to have a great time.
Mm-hmm. And you're going to learn a lot. And it's a good write-off.
It's a write-off. Yeah. I mean, it's, we're excited about it. We're supercharged. I think we have some really great speakers. We have one individual, Chuck Thoke, who is not really involved with the pressure washing industry, but he's heavily involved as a speaker, as a trainer, as a mentor in the service industry. So we actually tried to get Chuck a couple of years ago before COVID hit to come speak, but he was just so booked out from speaking engagements. So we're really excited about having him. And another thing too, because I received a couple messages, we're not done adding speakers. Right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6, but we're not done exploring additional ideas, additional scenarios. As the room block, fills up, then that'll free up some extra things for, my ability to move some numbers around and maybe get another 2 speakers in that fits the theme of, what we're trying to do this year. So, all right, I'm done talking.
No, you're doing.
No, Dougie's yawning. So
if you ask, I yawn every single time we do these, and today has been one of them days where I actually fell asleep on the couch, which is not normal. And just as I fell asleep, my wife's like, "Hey, dinner's ready," and I'm like, "Oh, okay," kind of thing. So, no, that's that's normal for me. Don't take that as anything anything at all.
Like I told you earlier, we're getting old, so
we're getting old. Getting fat, old, ugly, bald.
Right.
I could go on, right?
Right. So,
hey, don't include me in your
younger than
well, it's You
Ray's
mentioned
ahead of us, and he's younger than us. What do you think about that?
Ray's not. Ray, are you younger than me? You are
I'm
younger.
52. I just turned 52.
How old are you,
Spoiler
Doug?
alert.
Doug, how old are you, if I may ask?
You
Or
may.
maybe I shouldn't ask.
I'm
We're
55.
getting into uncharted territory here, so just
Yeah.
tell me to hush up if you don't want to answer.
No, I think I'm 55. I'll have to do the counting. I was born in 67, so whatever that comes out to be.
Okay. All right, cool.
So
Yeah,
let me ask you something. Do you know how old Paul
50,
Cassandra is?
it's a wash. It doesn't matter.
Do you know how old Paul Cassandra is?
Paul's 40? No, 50. I don't know. I don't know if Paul's watching. You know, I hang out with Paul. I haven't seen Paul. I haven't seen anybody really in the industry. Tim, you guys, Paul, hardly anybody since COVID. I just haven't been out. You know, I just started doing my training again this year. I was down in, like I said, Houston. I just haven't seen anybody.
Paul and I share the same birthday. That's why I asked.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. He's 49. I don't know.
No, he's the same age as me. We share the exact same birthday.
Paul Cassandra's your age?
Yeah. He doesn't look it, does he?
Damn, Doug, what have you done?
I didn't know that. I thought Paul, I shit you not, I thought he was like in his upper 40s. All right, that's good. It's okay. I mean, you know what? I think we ought to just stop this subject right now.
That's enough.
Right.
Let's go back.
Stop being my distributor, and then that wouldn't be good. So
yeah,
it's all good. Listen, I appreciate you guys having me on. It's long.
I'm glad to have you. Finally.
Yeah, finally, and to everybody that's part of this academy and part of the industry, it's there's just keep pounding away with what you're doing, and you may not have all the things figured out, but just don't stop. Don't stop with your dream. Don't stop with your passion, and don't take shit so seriously. Sometimes we can get wrapped up a little too tight about things, and I'm the first to admit that. And right now is you're in the best spot. The service industry, you got some really great people around you, and let's make it happen. It's time to taste things and really take it to that next level. So I appreciate it.
As we sign off, Los, don't go anywhere. Stay in the background with us as we sign off, and then we'll do a little bit of chit chatting. But unless you got anything else, Ray.
I'm done.
Guys, thank y'all. See y'all next week.
Appreciate y'all. And again, 2022 Cleaning Industry Summit is in Cabo. Appreciate y'all.